Elliott is out, and he'll be getting
Yeah.
all the action. So bam, 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 $1 on that to win $1.69.
Yeah, that's a good strategy in general. Just like if a main guy goes out, the odds on his backup are probably going to be a little skewed. And
Pollard
so
has been looking
that's
good all
always something good to jump on.
Pollard's been looking good all season. In fact, if I remember correctly, I can go ahead and look this up here, and I'll share screen so you can see what I'm seeing.
He always looks good. Whenever Elliott's out, Pollard looks great,
Well, no, dude,
usually.
I think he's been getting more action than Elliott in general.
That's been the narrative with him for like 3 or 4 years. I mean, the thing is that Ezekiel Elliott, I feel like really is the number one back, but
Really?
Pollard is a fine back. Yeah, like he's a great he might be the best number two backup in the league.
Huh.
Alexander Madison is pretty good too, but although he's kind of transitioned into the number one role, but
Let's take a look see here. Dallas. And we'll just go to running
yeah, I mean
backs.
right behind him, right, and that's with him cutting into his touches.
Yeah.
The thing about Tony Pollard is he's been around for 4 fucking years, so like the narrative's already kind of been written on him. Everybody thinks that the moment that Zeke goes down, this guy should be a stud. So
Yeah.
I would think that he will be.
Dallas, they're 10-point favorites in this game.
Well, they should be. I mean, Dallas looks really, really good, and Chicago looks really, really bad.
Yeah, Chicago looked good last week. I don't think they.
Well, I mean, just overall, yeah, I know. I know Chicago had a really good game last week, but I'm not quite buying into that they're like a good team yet. If they come out this week against Dallas,
I mean, I'm gonna.
then I'll be a believer. You know that'll make me a believer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to take the 10 points for Chicago on this one. In fact, I think I'm going to. I mean, just I'm a small bet, but I just think kind of like what you were saying last week on Yahoo Fantasy, how they just disrespect certain players and don't give them the points that they deserve. I think to
Yeah,
give Dallas 10 points here is straight up disrespectful because Dallas ain't that good, you know.
they're good, dude. No, they are. Like their
What,
defense is damn good. Like better than I've ever seen it before.
dude? You were hating
And
on
their offense
Dallas.
is middly. You know, their offense is the kind of the same as it always is. But their defense is fucking stacked this year, man. But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of teams you could say are playing a lot more defensively this year as compared to like years in the past. Like there's some low scoring games this year, man.
So we're split on this one. So you would take Dallas for 10, the 10-point spread.
I don't like 10 points. No, I'd see Dallas more like by 7. I think is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm going to take the 10-point spread for the Bears.
and I mean, I am taking Dallas to win here. And I think by 3-7 is a score, a touchdown is right, is what makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
but the problem with that is you don't really get any money off of that bet. Now, if you were to
No, reality and betting are two different things, man. Like, I'm not going to tell people that, like, I think Chicago's going to win this game because that's not
I
reality.
guess if you wanted to do a
Um,
bet like that, you could pair it with a parlay. So you could have like Pollard to score a touchdown or rush a certain amount of yards plus
right.
Dallas to win by a certain amount. That
Yeah,
might even it out a little bit for you.
sure.
Because if they're gonna win, I mean, chances are Pollard's gonna be a part of
Yeah.
that.
That being said, I mean, I know that Chicago played well last week. I
Yeah.
saw it.
Oh, they look great.
Um, I just typically like teams will have. I don't know. This has been a crazy year, but I don't know if one game is going to make a believer out of me.
Oh,
Is
while we're
all.
talking about Chicago, I want to jump back to our fantasy league where we are almost definitely going to lose this week, which is fine. I mean, we're 6-1, so I mean, I'm really not worried about taking a loss. And the reason I'm saying that is because our opponent offered us a trade that I wonder if it's still there. Yep, for shits and kittles, proposed a trade that if we were to accept this trade, we're gonna beat him this week. But
Well, the trade wouldn't go through until after the game.
are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Be
sure.
processed Tuesday, November 1st for week 9. Oh, okay, then fuck that.
Yeah.
All right, never mind then. Because I was about to say, if we took this trade, it's to trade Debo, who's out this week, for his, arguably, I think one of his best wide receivers, if not his best wide receiver, and Deonta Foreman.
I'd do this in a heartbeat.
No. Why?
Dante Foreman looks like the lead back in Carolina, and he looks fucking awesome. Chuba Hubbard is like out, and so like you're getting tremendous value out of Dante Foreman. Chris Olave, I mean,
Yeah, but look at Deonta Foreman.
not crazy about it.
Deonta Foreman's only looking so great because he had one good week.
But he's the starter. Like, yes, he's got one good week, but he's the number one. So like, he's going to continue to get the same production expected wise. And Chuba Hubbard's not there, and Christian McCaffrey's not there. So like, who else could even run the ball? Like, they'd have to go to a fourth stringer or a guy off the fucking waiver wire or something.
Yeah,
he is definitely the number one back. Like that. That's why I like this trade.
Okay.
And I've been so disappointed by Deebo Samuel. I'm ready to fucking cut him for any reason. I might actually get some value out of him here.
Here's the problem. See, that was secondary to me, the running back. What was primary to me, because I thought this trade would go through before the game started today, would be picking up this wide receiver here.
I hate the Saints.
The Saints do suck, but so does San Francisco.
Oh,
really...
he's actually not bad, huh? Dude, I mean, I think that like is kind of on par with Deebo Samuel, to be perfectly honest. Like, I mean, a 14, a 12, a 10. These numbers look pretty familiar. I mean, they look like I'm looking at the same fucking guy.
At the end of the day, I like San Francisco more than I like
This is a
New
slam
Orleans.
dunk. Like, typically, you don't get double your value for one guy. You're almost getting two Deebo Samuels for the price of one here.
No. I disagree, and here's why. We don't have any wide receivers, man, and I feel like we're downgrading from Debo to Olave. It's a slight downgrade.
I don't. You know why? This guy plays.
So is Debo. I mean, he's out this week
He's out.
with a hamstring. I mean, he'll be back.
Yeah, with a fucking hamstring.
Dude.
So we're looking at gimped up for the rest of the year.
No.
Christian McCaffrey cutting into his fucking
No, because look,
because
they got a bye week for week 9, so get an extra week. Dude, he'll be fine. They pull hammies all the time. That's not a big deal. That's not a torn ACL. Debo's going to come back, and he's all they have at the 49ers, and the 49ers are a better team than New Orleans. And then when it comes to running backs, we already have Ezekiel Elliott and Austin Eckler and Damian Harris, so we don't even need Deonta Foreman because his team fucking sucks. I mean, I agree that him being the top running back on his shitty team, he'll still get some yards, but at the end of the day, he's on the fucking Panthers, and we have Austin Eckler, Ezekiel Elliott, Damian Harris, and Khalil Herbert. We don't need another running back, especially if they play for the fucking Panthers, man. I don't care if they beat the Succaneers. I think we're good. I think we should just stick with it. I think we would regret dropping Debo in the long run because
I don't fucking like the guy.
I mean, dude, I like New Orleans, but I like.
I thought I liked the guy going into this year, and he has fucked me in every single fucking league I got him in. And that's just the bottom line. After 8 weeks, I don't mind fucking calling him like they are. The guy sucks. I drafted this guy in the second fucking round thinking, like, this guy's going to be money. I mean, I'm taking my premier number one wide receiver with this pick. And he's been nothing short of him. When I can look at Chris Olave, and I could see the same fucking production that I've gotten out of a second round pick, I could have got Chris Olave for free.
And
Like, I could have paid nothing for him.
Yeah.
But I paid a second-round pick on this guy, and he's shitting the bed. Deebo Samuel sucks, guys. Don't fucking take him. I'll never have him again. In fact, outside of Kittle, I might never have anyone from San Francisco again. That place is a fucking train wreck. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I was about to look them up, actually, because I want to see. I mean, the whole thing's not a train wreck at San Francisco. It's just their quarterback is just.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Looking great.
That's a very fair analysis.
They got Christian McCaffrey. Look, Debo's still their number one, and I don't think it's worth giving up the top wide receiver. Sure, he hasn't put up the points that he should have so far this year, but
no. I think that fantasy owners should be understandably frustrated with this guy. You should be looking to sell him. Is the way I look at it. And if you can get value out of him, and because to me, getting two guys that are essentially the same guy, I don't give a fuck what team they're on. I'm so fucking frustrated with this asshole. I'm just ready to see him go. But you're right. I mean, you're right to stay the course. Don't freak out.
Well, you could
don't let him go.
Well, you could say the same thing about New Orleans, which, by the way, Taysom Hill, what a great call picking up this guy for free. He's the top. He puts up more points than anyone on their team, and he's their fucking tight end.
Right. That was another guy that we got for zero value.
I mean, and we dropped him too. We picked him up initially, and he didn't do shit. And then we dropped him, and then he had a good week, and I was like, okay. And I picked him back up, and he's been fucking shit and gravy since. Funny. So
yeah, yeah, he is. He's been a tremendous pickup, guys. It was kind of a dead obvious thing. If you've got a guy that's labeled as a quarterback / tight end,
yeah,
I mean that's most tight ends are only going to get you 4 points a fucking game anyway. So if he goes anything over 4 points, like that's amazing. Like that's awesome.
So yeah,
he could have a quarterback type game,
So we got Olave here, and he's putting up the same amount of points as Debo. But I just feel like on a slightly worse team because these guys don't even really have a quarterback like at all. I mean, they got Andy Dalton, who's been actually doing pretty good, considering the situation.
Look, man, here's the thing. Like typically when wide receivers go out with an injury, even if it is a minor injury, it's something that they tend to battle all fucking year. And like that's what I'm worried about with Jamar Chase on my team this year. And I don't want to jinx it because, I mean, we do need him and he needs to come back. But that, I guess, is kind of where my head's at, too, with Debo is like, is this guy going to play at all? Because at least with these two guys, they are healthy and active and, like, look like they're fucking playing. Like, we might go 2 weeks and get zeros out of fucking Deebo Samuel. And then where's the trade? And these guys are going off for fucking 12 points each every fucking game. So that's 24 fucking points that we're missing out on every week just because Debo doesn't want to get his happy ass on the fucking field. Give me a break, man. I'm so dude, I'm this fucking close with this guy.
That is an interesting. I mean, I think he'll be back in 2 weeks, but you did raise an interesting point that by doing so, we'll be out our top wide receiver for 2 weeks. And then if he comes back, which he probably will, I
think he will. What's his production going to be like?
Which I think in the long run, it'll be fine. But in the short term,
it's going to suck. When he comes back, if it is a hamstring, he's going to be limited. It's going to be like he gets like fucking 3 catches a game. And then we're still pigeonholed into running him because like you just said, he's our best fucking option. He's our best wide receiver. And we got to run a gimped up dude who's getting a timeshare on some team. It's just got disaster written all over it.
For 2 healthy players?
For 2 healthy players that are producing.
And I think this guy is biased as well because his name's for Shits and Kittles, and he has Kittle. So I think
he definitely is. He's a homer. Anybody, I was shocked. Like that he offered. This is actually because normally most people offer you like fucking crap. It'll be something that's not even reasonable at all.
Yeah, that's what I do.
This is actually very right. Yeah, exactly. This is actually a fair trade. Like I see this as a reasonable, fair.
And we get an extra running back. I mean, fuck.
Well, here's the thing. This guy, Dante Foreman, is a hell of a lot better than whoever the fourth string running back on our team is. I mean, even Damian Harris, I'm skeptical as hell on now just because I think that Belichick's going to split the carries. I think he's going to split it between Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris now.
Let's take the trade.
I'm okay with it. I'm totally okay with it. Starting this Chris Olave guy, getting the same amount of fucking points out of him, and now we've got another good running back. Why fucking not?
We're done with
Seems
Debo.
awesome.
Debo's done.
Fuck you, Debo. Go put up some fucking points next year.
So that won't clear until
Next week.
November 1st, which is, I had my calendar pulled up here.
Tuesday.
Day after Halloween.
I like it.
Cool.
I mean, I get it that it's a high risk, and we're literally, I mean, we paid a second round pick for this guy, but we overpaid for him. Like, I didn't know that we were going to get seventh round production out of a second round pick. It never occurred to me that would be the case.
And at least in the short term, like next week, we'll need a wide receiver. We got one now. So we're covered in the short term. This guy that we just picked up.
Yeah, doesn't he have a bye week coming up too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good for his injury, but it's not good for us because
we've been good for us.
Yeah, we've been struggling with wide receivers. Even though Julio's back, he didn't even do well, and he put up 8 points. So that's actually promising.
Mm-hmm. He got that sneaky touchdown at the end.
I mean, he didn't look like the Julio, that we want, but
he might get sneaky touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. If he can just sneak a couple in there, he might be a good little pocket wide receiver. That's assuming the Buccaneers ever come back. I don't know, man. Like, they're going to get destroyed against the Rams, and then what? Then they basically have to win every game after that, and it's just not looking like that's
I don't think they're going to win against the Rams, but I will say this. I think the Rams, they are kind of struggling too. Yeah. Like, they don't look particularly great this year like they did last year, so
that's true.
I don't know. It could be more even than people are expecting, but I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. But I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know.
But this is our lineup. We got Josh Allen, Tyler Boyd, Amari Cooper.
Tyler Boyd's going to be money. Dude, That was a solid fucking pickup.
And they're going against each other, too, this game. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Tomorrow. That's nice.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow, right. And the theory on Amari Cooper is that the Browns are probably going to get behind in this game. So they're going to have to pass the ball more. Hence, Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
In theory. We know how theories play out sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you don't know.
But in theory, Cincinnati's the better team. I would expect them to get a lead.
But Browns get behind.
Yeah, I'd expect the Browns to get behind, and then they would need to throw it. That's the theory going into this.
But here's even the kind of the better part. It's like if it goes the opposite of that, and say the Browns get the ball first, if they score, the likelihood of them scoring would most certainly be through Amari Cooper. Like right. he would be the number one guy to score.
So it's a win-win scenario.
It's a win-win. Yeah. I actually like that this week. And I get that it's not a great matchup on paper, but that makes sense.
And then we got Devonta Smith, who's on an undefeated team against the Steelers, who's been looking pretty good. So it's funny. We've been great on our running backs all season, but then and shit on our wide receivers. We're not like amazing on our wide receivers, but we've got like a decent wide receiver list this week. But our running backs are shit. Like, we are fucked.
Well, I do think that Khalil Herbert is probably – I don't think that 5 points is, like, quite reasonable for him. It really seems to be more of a timeshare thing with Herbert and Montgomery in Chicago. They're kind of splitting it more.
But Dallas is just going to shut them down. I mean, I don't even want to run Khalil.
That's true. I just think that
we're only running him.
They're giving him like secondary numbers, like as far as the projection goes, and I feel like it's more reasonable to put him at like an 8, like rather than a 5. Like I think that's a safer projection. Really, I think he's just a hair under projected.
We're only running him because we have no choice. Because Eckler, it's Eckler's bye week.
That happens.
Cam
That's,
Akers just doesn't want to play anymore, and Ezekiel
no.
Elliott's out. So our top 3 running backs. We have 3 great running backs, and they're all out.
Well, Eckler coming back next week. It'll be like nothing ever happened on that end.
We'll probably drop Marquise Brown here in a little bit, and we do have an open waiver. I didn't put any money on it, but I think this is Kansas City's number 2.
Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Baltimore. Yeah, that was the guy that we went back and forth on.
Right.
Actually ended up looking pretty good.
Yeah, so we'll see. I expect to lose this week because we're going up against Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we got Josh Allen, but he's got Cooper Kupp and some solid running backs.
I mean, hey, we could definitely catch it, get lucky. I mean, that happens to everybody. So
we did already.
This guy just sucked this week.
Dude, in week like 3 or 4, we should have lost, but our opponent sat like 70 points or something crazy on his bench. Like, it was insane.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we got him beat on the QB big time. Our wide receivers collectively, I think, will keep up with his, even though it's hard to keep up with Cooper Kupp.
Well, here's the thing.
But it's his running backs.
If Chris Olave beats us, like if Chris Olave goes off and beats our asses today, we got him.
He's ours.
Hey, so that could be worse.
I don't expect that to happen. But, I mean, shit, he's put up fucking 11, 12, 13, 15 points.
And look at the targets. Like, he's getting a fuckload of 14 targets. Like, that's fucking awesome. I'll take that all day, man. They're throwing the hell out of it to him.
Yep. Well, Debo's out. Done with Debo.
Good. Get out of here. You suck.
And, the rest we'll just leave up to the football gods of football.
Well,
that's our line. So we already did Bears and Cowboys. Next is Panthers and Falcons. Dude, I'm going to get up real quick. I'm going to grab a drink. I'll be right back.
You got it. Carolina looks hot right now. I mean, they beat Tampa Bay. Now, granted, Tampa Bay looks like shit, but that, to me, made Carolina look pretty good. The Falcons are bad. They're a bad team, but they play with a lot of heart. They play like they want to win, which that's something new about the Falcons that I haven't seen in years past. They typically play to lose, and it seems like this year they're actually coming out there and they want to win some games, which is nice. They're just they have a horrible team, but it's good to see them playing well. Pittsburgh at Philly. Yeah, that's an easy one, right? I mean, come on. Philadelphia should mop the floor with these guys, you would think. Pittsburgh's not very good.
Who's your call on Panthers and Falcons?
I'm going to go with the Panthers. They look hot.
Yeah.
Why not? Fuck. I mean, it's kind of schluck on schluck anyway. And so maybe the Panthers are the better schluck, and we got the running back now. So I'm rooting fucking Panthers. Let's go. Let's turn this thing around. Yeah, so I'm taking the Panthers. I think that they're probably the better team. It's kind of a hard one because, like I said, they're both two crummy teams. But if I was to pick one, I'd take the Panthers. For
yeah,
sure.
I'll put a quarter on that. Wait, did they have their quarterback yet? Because they were on like a third string quarterback, right?
Yeah. But the Falcons quarterback is the first stringer who's awful. Like, he should be on the third string.
That's a good point.
Like, Mariota, I'm shocked that guy's got a fucking job. Like, it's unbelievable to me.
Dude, I've watched some of these quarterbacks, and I think, like, if I really whip myself into shape and, like, really train hard for, like, a couple years, like, I feel like I could, like, come close to some of these awful quarterbacks that we're seeing. And that's not a testament to me.
Could.
That's not me. I'm not an athlete, man. I'm not it, but I like look at these guys and I'm like, I could do that. Like, yeah, right. I could flop around like a fish out there for a while. I mean, because that's all they're really doing. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the decision making in the moment because I think a lot of
yeah,
guys could develop the skill set.
I feel like I'm better
Um,
than at that as well. Except, I mean, unless I'm like really,
yeah, no, I think that that's really what separates the physical side is like, most guys could probably get themselves into well enough shape to play football if they really dedicated their life to it. But mentally, with quarterback, it's really more about visually. It's your hand-eye coordination
dude,
and your decision making.
dude. I've been
And
watching,
if you're good at those two things, then you can totally play quarterback.
dude. I've been watching this Broncos. Fuck, who are they even playing? Jags. And it's just
Yeah,
embarrassing, man, watching them. And there's one play earlier. I mean, I kind of like it's kind
there
of in the
should be two
background,
bad teams.
but like there was one play. I forget which quarterback it was, but he got sacked, and they showed the instant replay. And there was a wide open receiver. I mean, he had plenty of time,
Yeah.
like just to throw. I mean, it was just a lob, easy pass, no one even near him, and he was in his line of sight. Like everything was
It's
there.
probably the Denver guy.
It was Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
and he delayed for like 2 seconds, didn't make a fucking decision, and got sacked and
Yeah.
lost like 9 yards. It was insane.
Oh, they look. I mean, Denver looks.
It,
Hey, Russell Wilson looks horrible.
it,
I mean, he went from who I thought was one of the better quarterbacks in the league to this year looks like maybe the worst quarterback in the league.
dude, everyone thought he was gonna do great this year.
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't he? He was, awesome in Seattle his whole career, and so I don't know what the hell's going on in that situation. Like, I liked Russ. I've kind of liked him his whole career, and I guess either
Speaking
he just
of,
picked this year to suck, like that this is the year where he falls off, or and this is kind of what I think is more likely because usually it's a slow progression when a guy goes from good to suck, like it
right?
kind of happens over time. What I think is going on is that Denver's organization is such a fucking train wreck that they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And
Yeah.
he's not getting the right calls or the right play. They're not calling the right plays. There's something going on with the offensive coordinator. Because it's just strange to me, this guy who seemingly was a pretty good quarterback devolves into, I've never seen that go from 8 years of very consistent plays really well to just overnight
Oh,
instant changes
touchdown!
your team and you suck. It's weird.
They just scored a touchdown. They ran in for an easy touchdown, but the Broncos are up with a minute and 43 left in the game. I think they just sealed the deal on this one.
Oh, nice.
Good for them. I mean, the Jags have a minute 43 to save it, but
How many touchdowns they got? Or I'm sorry, timeouts.
I don't know. It's on mute in the background.
Because 134. I mean, if you've got 3 timeouts, that could be a lot of time.
Yeah,
Left.
and then they made the extra point, so the Jags have to get a touchdown. Or yeah, that's really the only way.
They can do it.
It's
I
not
can
gonna.
see it.
No way. I wonder if we could bet on it because there's live bets.
I mean, if I knew how many, I mean, if they have 3 timeouts or even two,
No.
that takes. You could legitimately be putting another almost 2 minutes on the clock just by those 2 timeouts.
Yeah, but it's the Jags, dude. I mean, they're not gonna run it.
Yeah,
up the
you're right.
field.
I mean, but Trevor Lawrence has looked better this year, I think.
Not this
That's
game.
why I asked which quarterback it was because Russ has just been looking shittier and shittier, and Trevor Lawrence is actually like looking like he might be improving a little bit.
Yeah, I think this game's pretty much over, but we'll see. I'll keep y'all updated.
Nothing.
Dude, I have a ESPN Plus, and I get like none of the games ever.
I know.
Like it fucking
Yeah.
it pisses me off so much because
I
like
know.
part
I
of the
fucking
reason
hated that shit.
like part of the reason I got it was like I told Laura I was like, hey, I'm like gonna get Disney Plus and it's gonna be awesome and
Yeah.
stuff, and then I was like, yeah, I'll get ESPN Plus too. There's never a game on like ever.
Right.
And
You get Mondays, I think. I think you get Monday night.
well, this one is on it though. I was about to like find an alternative to find this game,
Yeah.
and I turned on my TV, and it was like Broncos and Jags. I was like, no fucking way. And I didn't even believe it when I saw it on there. Like, I
Mhm.
was like, this is like some kind of stupid promotion that they're doing, like, or I'm going to click on it and they're going to be like, you have to
Yeah.
subscribe to this and da 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 da.
Right.
And I fucking clicked on it and the game started playing. I was like, oh my God.
So
So they'll give you
for
the
two
shitty ones. They'll
years,
give you the worst possible games to watch.
yeah, they
Those are
do. And
ESPN
I've
Plus.
tried like damn near everything, man.
Those
And for
bastards.
2 years, I had like the legit stuff. Like I was paying out the ass for it's called Sunday Ticket. And with Sunday Ticket, you get every game, you get all everything, literally.
Yeah.
And it was super expensive, but I did better in fantasy than I'd ever fucking done before. But and I had it was like 2 years
Right.
straight, and because I would just go home and put it on, like I would watch either the NFL channel or I would watch the games that were being played, and it was like you couldn't help but absorb yourself into everything when you've actually got everything to watch, you know.
Oh, dude, the Broncos just caught a pass interception.
That's it. That's the game.
Yep.
Okay.
So much for
Yeah. So much for the Jacksonville comeback.
that happened quick.
Yeah.
So the Broncos are capable of beating one of the worst teams in the league, barely.
Mm-hmm. Barely.
Yeah, dude, there are so
Why they
many
can beat somebody.
bad teams that are out there this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah, there are.
Tom Brady was
It's
talking about that, and he was talking. People don't catch it at the time, but he was also talking about his own team when he said that. When he was like, "There's a lot of bad football being played out there." He was talking about himself and the Bucks for sure when he said that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, he was talking about other people too, but he's not excluded from
No,
that.
there is. For real, man. It's an ugly year.
Eagles. Gosh, these fucking 11.5 point spreads. Holy shit.
On this one, I kind of agree with it. I mean, it's one of the few where it should be high, and I think 2 touchdowns is a little too high. I
If
put it
anything,
probably. I
on
think
this,
it's right where it should be.
if anything on this game, I'll take the over. 42.5 seems a little bit low if they're expecting this team to win by more than 12 points, right?
You're right. It's like the two contradict one another.
So I'm gonna take the over on this one. I'll pay 50 cents.
I mean, it's not that unreasonable that the Eagles score 30 points by themselves. So, like, how many do the Steelers have to score to get to that number?
Yeah, plus field goals.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that seems low.
Then we got Dolphins and Lions.
I think Tua Tunga Vailoa comes back this week, and that should be major for the Dolphins. They should go back to being really good again. That's a quarterback. And so Tyreek Hill should have a much better game. Jalen Waddle should have a much better game. Detroit is obviously nobody's saying Detroit is good. Everybody is saying Miami is, or Tim is saying Miami is good. I think this is an easy slam dunk Dolphins. I think the spread is stupid low. I'm taking them more like the 11 in the fucking Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
That being said, 52 points in this game. I guess they're expecting the Dolphins to put up 40 of them. I don't know. That's really fucking high. That's the only thing that scares me off there.
Well, I'll put 50 cents on the Dolphins win by 4. And then maybe take the under. Just a quarter. Throw 25 cents on the under.
I mean, that just seems really high. I mean, maybe they're so like maybe it's a thing where like people are expecting Miami to put up a lot of points, and so therefore Detroit has to score points to keep up with them, and so it has to be a higher
I don't
number.
see it.
Sometimes
Well,
I'm like trying to figure out how they come up with these.
Well, and also Miami isn't
projections.
completely put together at this point either. So like 52.5 seems high to me.
It seems high, yeah.
these are
This is an
all
interesting game.
these are all made by algorithms. So
Okay, well that makes sense. That actually makes a lot more sense.
yeah, so they are extremely accurate most of the time.
Yeah, because some of them I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't change it at all. I mean, but and then
But
some of them I'm like, how did they come up with this? Because it is so like
very rarely,
consistent. It's
every
like
now, I mean, they are so good at making these lines, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, they win. All Vegas always wins, always, always, always. So, in fact, I would say we're probably missing something that the algos are seeing
right,
here.
right. When I see a thing like this, and it's like a good team versus a bad team, right? But the projection is over 50 points. It's like, what am I missing here? Like, what
Maybe,
am,
well, maybe
what
with
is
that
that
narrative,
line?
a good team versus a bad team would suggest that the good team could just stomp all over the bad team. However, my thinking is that I don't think the Dolphins are that great. I think they're being over projected. Well, maybe not by 4 points, but the
I
52,
think they're pretty good.
the 52 and a half, I think is an over projection on their part. And then the second half of that is the Lions and Jared Goff haven't looked as awful this year as they did last year.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe there's hope in that. Maybe it'll be a good game.
It just seems high, but yeah,
It's a home game for the Lions. I don't know.
I guess that makes them slightly better.
I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know.
see. We'll see.
I mean, it does. Home.
Uh,
This next one though is an interesting
Cardinals
game,
and Vikings.
and I do think it could be a high scoring game. These two teams are kind of predicated on the offense, and they're both both offenses tend to score. There's some real playmakers in this game, and this is one that I'm going to be watching today. I think it's going to be a fun game. Um, I think that Justin Jefferson and DeAndre Hopkins, it's going to be just kind of this, like that'll be the narrative of the game. It'll be like, oh, Justin Jefferson's going off. Well, watch DeAndre Hopkins because he's back and he's looking good too, and he really is. And I think this could be a fun one. This could be one of those ones that sticks out this year. Um, I like Jefferson to score. I like Hopkins to score. I like the over on this. I think that this one I could see this one going over 48 points. Um, I'm taking Arizona to win.
What?
This is just a fun game.
You're
Yeah,
taking Arizona?
I am. I am.
Whoa.
Well, and here's my reasoning is because I think that both defenses are kind of even. Like they look like fairly similar. And I just think that Arizona's offense is just a hair better than Minnesota's. And especially now with DeAndre Hopkins coming back, I think that they will be good. And I not only does DeAndre Hopkins back and looks to be playing at a high level, I think James Conner comes back this week. And if James Conner comes back this week, so they just got their number one running back and their number one wide receiver back this week, I think they're going to continue to improve and look better throughout the season. They're a team that started off really unhealthy. And as the year is going by, some of their major players are starting to come back. And so I kind of am looking for them to continue to improve.
All right. So I put 25 cents on the over. You said you like Justin Jefferson?
Love him.
Let's put $1 on him.
And I love Hopkins. I think it could be like the way that I see this game going is the two of them it's going to be the Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins show. And one guy's going to have it, and then it's going to switch over to the other side, and the other guy's going to go off. It'll just be one of those. I just have a feeling it's going to be one of those fun ones to watch this year.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm locking in those bets right now. So I got $1 on oh, Tim got booted. Give me just a second, y'all. I'll Russell Wilson is praying.
And he said, you know what, I welcome. Yeah, embrace adversity, right? That's right. Let's see what happens.
What?
Look, he played his rear end off in the second half.
That was so bizarre. Wow. Hold on, let me get Tim back in here. I'll talk about it. They just like said a prayer in the middle of the field. That was weird.
God first, you know. We wouldn't be here without them.
God first.
We have an amazing group of guys, you know. Every week, every Friday, every Monday, Wednesday, we kind of get together a lot of times and just pray in the mornings. But man, this is a great team effort. I mean, they played well, we played well. In front of an amazing crowd on the world stage. Doesn't get any bigger and better. But what a gift, man. We just kept
The smug ass look on his face, Russell Wilson.
great moments. And
Dude, you won one game.
where we want to go.
You started to get into a rhythm offensively. A couple long throws, too. What made the difference there?
Well, we really picked up the tempo, you know, and I think Coach Hackett did a really good job of calling some plays where we got the tempo going. It's a good young team, and the Jags, they got a lot of great players, and so we kind of had to change it up and really kind of put the issue on them. And then we had some big plays. KJ down the sideline, we made some big plays, and guys just kept believing. I mean, the line did a tremendous job against that front. I thought our defense was spectacular. As the defense went out there, said, "Go make a play, get another one for us," and sure enough, they did. So, what a team effort, and what a gift it was this week.
Yeah, you did it with injuries across the offensive line as well.
Crazy.
Can catapult you forward.
This interview is insane. Russell Wilson is like high as balls.
Long season left. Long season left. I played a lot of ball, been on a lot of
He's on something.
been through some amazing things.
That's insane.
Along the way. And this is just part of the journey. You know, every time you want to climb a mountain doesn't mean you won't fall a little bit. You know,
Every time you climb a mountain doesn't mean you won't fall a little bit. This guy.
we just gotta keep climbing.
You mentioned that you
We just gotta keep climbing.
dealing with adversity. You were built for the pressure that you've dealt with so far in Denver. How does today
Tim,
Well, I wouldn't be here if I couldn't handle the pressure. You know,
can you hear me, brother?
Oh yeah.
I kind of enjoy it.
Dude,
It's
this interview with Russell Wilson, this in-game interview,
picking me up. Their work ethic,
is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's happening right now.
what's been said. You know, and
He has this vibe like he's like wants to be like Elvis.
to keep going and keep playing. And
He looks high as shit. Like he's on something. I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck like athletes are taking these days, but he is on something. He led
Damn.
like a prayer in the middle of the field after he won the game. Like he went to the middle where
He's a weird guy.
he
I've
went.
always kind of thought that about him. That he's just kind of a strange individual.
He went onto the he went onto the Jaguars logo and he gathered a group of players from both teams and reporters and stuff, and they led like a prayer on the field. And then the reporter comes up immediately after when they're done and is like interviewing him, and he's got like this cocky ass grin on his face, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm like the shit," and like this stuff, and he looks like he's on some kind of drugs or something. I don't know what the fuck. That was bizarre. What I just fucking saw. I can't believe that like made live TV. That was weird as shit.
He's a weird dude.
What the fuck did I just watch? I mean, and I got nothing against religion or saying a prayer or any of that stuff. It was just a very bizarre thing that just happened.
Mhm.
Like that's
I've
fine.
always thought that he seemed a little odd, like
Huh.
just eccentric, sort of. For a young person, he acts like
Some-
a fucking 60-year-old like billionaire or something. Like I don't know. He's just got a weird vibe about him. I don't know.
Something is.
Oh,
very-
I've always thought that about
yeah, something
Russ.
is very off there. Anyways, let's. So I think I got Justin Jefferson for a touchdown. So let's do DeAndre Hopkins, who is less likely to score a touchdown according to Vegas.
Mhm.
So it pays more. How about $1
Yeah,
on
I
him?
love it. I think that's. I mean, shit, man. That's kind of an easy money bet right there.
Hey, y'all hear that? Easy money bet.
I mean, the odds are by far in his favor to score. So
I mean, Vegas
if you're
disagrees.
doubling up, more than doubling up, that's the odds seem a little off.
Vegas don't agree with you here. Shame on them.
Shame on them.
Shame.
They should
on
hire
them.
me.
Yeah, right? Fucking A. I mean, the fact that we can, I mean, I know our bankroll isn't like doing that great, but the fact that we can consistently bet and not lose all our money is, I think, a testament.
Mhm.
I feel like every gambler loses all their money, and I've only done that once, and that was on roulette. I had a roulette formula. I thought I cracked the code,
The system.
and I had like 8 reds in a row, and I lost $500 because it rolled red
Oh.
500 times in a row, and part of my
Fucking
strategy was
red.
going black. So there's a 50% chance, or almost 50. It's like 49 and a half, depending on what type of roulette you're playing. 49%. 8 reds in a row.
That's insane.
It's
What are
bullshit.
the odds? Like what are literally the odds of that happening?
I
It's
don't
like
know, but
insanely high.
dude, I was up like
It's like 1 in a million, basically, right?
I started with 5,000, or not 5,000. Sorry, no. I started with $500, and this is all in one night on online. I found like an online roulette table, and I wrote this system out on paper. I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. This is my strategy. I'm gonna do it. And I played for about 5 hours. It was all night. I stayed up all night. It was like 3 in the morning in my underwear on my bed, like fucking playing online roulette. And I got up to about $1,200 doing this consistently. Like, I'd get some wins, and then I'd lose some, but then I'd make up my losses, and it was working. And then I got 8 reds in a row, and I lost it all. So I actually lost more than 500 because 500 was my starting bankroll. But I grew it to about 1,200, and I lost all of that because I thought I was winning. And by the time the 6th red rolled around, I was like, "There's no way, like a 7th."
It's impossible.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm a lock.
Yeah. Until I lost it all, it was like, "Fuck."
That's insane, dude. My god.
That's the most I've ever lost gambling was that $500 roulette. I guess technically it was more because I've won more and lost it all, but I consider it 500 because I started with 500 and I lost it. So, and take it as a lesson learned,
Yeah.
House always wins. That's just how it goes.
That's right. That is how it goes. That is how it goes.
Would you take the Cardinals money line here? Are you feeling that confident on the Cardinals? Because they're the underdogs.
I am. Yeah, I think they're going to win this game. I don't see any reason why they can't. Like, okay, I mean, if playing devil's advocate, they are at the Vikings, and
I like the Vikings, man.
That's kind of the only thing, really. Like, the fact that it's a Vikings home game is kind of the only advantage that I would give to the Vikings.
Let's just stick with what we got. We got Justin Jefferson, that other guy score touchdown, and we got the over. I feel like that's enough.
Yeah, I like that. Simple.
All right, Pats and Jets, 2 shitty teams. Dude, the Jets are favored here by 3.
I will never take the Jets. So.
That's insane. Oh, no. I'm sorry. They're not favored. I misread that. I was like, what? No. Pats are favored to win by 3. That was my bad.
Yeah, they will. I think they will.
I don't trust that.
New England knows this team so well, man. They play them they play them twice a year for forever.
But New England just ain't getting it done this year, man.
Well, they got a good defense. They do. They have very good defense. And that could be enough. That might be enough. Because the Jets have terrible offense. And they lost their running back, who was like actually pretty good, Brees Hall. And so the Jets ain't got shit. I think New England can win this game for sure. I think they're more likely to win this game
by 3.
Yeah, that's very reasonable.
Okay,
maybe more.
I'm only putting a quarter on it because I don't feel super comfortable.
I like it,
but I'll bet on the Pats to win by 3.
Hey, the Jets could be 12-1, and I wouldn't fucking take them. So,
hey, I have a question for you. I've been watching a lot of this like NFL, so I don't really understand how the divisions work or like how trading deadlines and like all that stuff works. But I was watching this thing and they were talking about, I think it was Jacksonville just being awful for the last like couple years, but because they ranked so poorly, apparently they get better picks in the draft. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
So the way it works, the way draft order works every year is the best team. So like the team that wins the Super Bowl, they get the last pick in the draft. And the worst team, the team with the worst record, or maybe you'll have two teams with the same record and then they'll do some kind of tiebreaker, but the worst team gets the first pick. And so that's their way of trying to, and it works for the most part, trying to kind of balance the league out to where there's always competition in the league, to where the teams that are bad, that are in desperate needs for the better players, have the opportunity to go get them. And that's what makes the draft so interesting, is because these teams that are consistently bad year to year to year, they're not just bad football players. They're bad as an organization. Like, they can't make their picks properly. Like, they might, like, for instance, the Browns, they get the top picks over and over and over and over again, and they consistently miss on them. Whereas, like, New England is kind of the opposite of that. They get the lower shitty picks all the time. It's only been recent that now they've been getting high draft picks. And, he's great at identifying players that are low in the draft that should be higher. And so it's interesting on that end, too, because of the way it works. But, yeah, shittiest team always gets the first pick. Best team always gets the last pick,
so,
and then it fills in there.
Wouldn't it that if you get to a certain point in your season and
yes,
nothing's going to happen,
and teams do,
that you just start flopping intentionally?
Yes, it happens every year.
So that you can get a better...
Jacksonville is kind of a prime example. To get Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville intentionally tanked. And a team would never say they're intentionally tanking, but they were doing things like not running their number one running back in like 10 games. And everybody's going, what the fuck? Like, they legitimately did not want to win games.
Right.
I've seen Houston do it before. Yes, teams will. Indianapolis, I've definitely seen Indianapolis do it when Peyton Manning left. Yeah, that whole year they intentionally.
So
tanked.
let's keep an eye on that for later in the season. Let's look at
It'll
teams.
Happen. Guaranteed.
Well, dude, I'm saying
the worst record in the most dire needs of players, and those are the teams that are going to go out of their way not to win games.
Well, hear
now,
me
they're
out,
going
Tim.
to try to be competitive. And they're going to try to play, and you might get a win out of them somewhere, because they're going to try to be competitive and they're going to try to play. But for the most part, they don't really care about winning. And once a team stops caring about winning, you're already kind of losing. Like, you're already giving up to a certain extent. It's not hard to tank in the NFL. It's hard to rig games, because even the guys that are shitty are some of the best players in the NFL. But to go out of your way to lose, I think that's a mental thing. I think that once a team is on that, I don't think it takes much,
So
to know that you're that bad, and that you got nothing to play for.
So all we have to do is keep an eye out for that, and then bet against them, make money.
Houston's one to keep an eye on.
Well, shit.
Seattle is actually probably another one to keep an eye on.
It's like shorting the stock market, except with
it kind of is
with football. Shorting. I mean, fuck. If they're going to be losing intentionally because they'll get a better pick in the draft, might as well ride that wave, right? Anyways, moving on. What time is it? Oh, it's about game time. We got the Raiders and the Saints. This is going to be a fun game. I want the Saints to win, because we got Taysom Hill on our team.
Yeah.
And it's a home game.
I'm definitely rooting for the Raiders.
We're split.
Yeah. I think the Raiders are going to win this, because I think, to me, like, the Saints are kind of on the downward tick, and the Raiders seem to be playing better.
Andy Dalton didn't look too bad last week.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an Andy Dalton believer.
They did some trick plays. They threw Taysom Hill in there a couple times. He threw.
That's how they're going to have to win, is with him today. I feel
just switching shit up. I'm taking the money line Saints here.
You're taking New Orleans?
I'm taking New Orleans at home. in New Orleans.
Yeah, okay. That part's okay again.
I'll bet
Their
a quarter.
defense is good.
I'll bet 25 cents. You're like, defense is okay.
And
Let's,
then they're going to need it against the Rams or the Raiders.
well, I feel like the
I think because
Raiders.
I think the Raiders' offense is pretty damn good. Like I think that they've got a good little thing going.
Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, Taysom Hill.
I like Taysom Hill.
Score a touchdown?
Today's his day.
Really?
Today's the day. It's got to be, right?
No.
It's going to happen at some point. It will. It is going to happen this year.
It just seems quite unlikely.
I mean, but why not? Like, why wouldn't he?
I don't know. He's our boy.
I like it. Realistic, I do actually like Taysom Hill to score a touchdown in this game.
I'll put a quarter on it.
Devontae Adams, I think, is probably, to me, that's the most likely dude.
See, Vegas is liking Josh Jacobs and
Josh
Alvin
Jacobs,
Kamara.
because they're both the running backs. But I think that, Devontae Adams is damn good, man. Like, he could score. To me, he could score just as easily as Jacobs.
Wow, when I pulled up my my betting app on this game, the popular same game parlay for this, which I'm not going to take, but dollar wins you $10, is Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, and Josh Jacobs to all score a touchdown, and for the Raiders to win straight up.
Dollar wins you 10.
Dollar wins you 10.
It's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's that far off that Jacobs and Devontae Adams could score.
How about we do? You know how parlays go, man. I'm gonna put $1 on Devontae Adams to score a touchdown.
Cool. Fuck yeah. I'll be looking at that one.
Yeah, and then we got a quarter on Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Make money. Betting on balls. Yeah, let's go back. What else? Uh-oh.
Man,
My
I'm
thing's
trying
lagging
so
out.
hard.
They know that we're making too much money over here, so they're trying to crash. They're trying to slow down my internet.
I'm trying so hard to not smoke cigarettes anymore.
Do it,
It's like day 2.
dude. You gotta cut that shit out.
Well, I quit for 3 years. I don't know because you've been living in a different spot, but I quit for a long time, like longer than I didn't think I could, and I did.
Hell yeah.
I started dating this chick who smoked, and then I started smoking again, and so now the chick's gone, but I'm still fucking smoking. It's like that Whitest Kid You Know sketch with the genie, and he's like, "I picked up smoking." That was like me.
Yeah. Well, you know, Panda is a smoker, and I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's it's okay. I kind of let her do her thing. I mean, obviously it's not, it sucks. I don't want her to be, unhealthy or whatever, but
Right.
at the same time, I don't want to be like, don't do that.
Right.
Plus,
It's hard not to.
Plus, she wouldn't listen to me
Literally.
even if I did. So,
It's typically that's the way. It
in
goes,
fact, I think
man.
I have tried that before. I was like, you can't do that anymore, and she was just like, fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Which, I respect that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
right.
Tom Brady Giselle thing where I'm Giselle in that situation where I'm like, hey, it's for your own good. You gotta quit. Like you just gotta, it's not for you.
And he's like,
And she's like,
fuck
no,
you.
fuck you. This is my life.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What were we doing? Titans at the Texans.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll run this one down. The Titans are favored by 1. I take them by 1 point. Fuck. I mean, they're not amazing, but we're talking about the Texans here, so. Every time you see me looking away over here, by the way, I'm typing these in on my phone because it won't let me live bet while I'm streaming on the computer, so I'm just doing that. Titans by 1 point. I don't love the Titans, but I'll put 30 cents on it, right? 30 cents to win 27 cents. Locked and loaded. Next up, Giants and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are favored by 3. Hey, I know Tim hates the Giants, but I'm taking them. Moneyline Giants. Let's see it happen. You know, they've quietly been doing good this year. That's fucking money, you know? Damn, I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking the New York Giants. Tim, there's nothing you can do to stop me. 30 cents to win 43 cents. Bop, bop. And I'm going to take it a step further. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's almost game time, folks. I'm taking Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown. I'm going to put 50 cents on it. Only to win 40. Not a big win there. But that's money. And I like money. What's up next? Commanders at the Colts. Yeah. I don't really like either of those teams. Neither does Vegas. They're only seeing 40 points put up. I might just stay away from that one. Commanders and Colts. Then we got the 49ers at Rams. Rams are favored by by 1. I'll take the Rams here. By 1. I'll put 50 cents on that. Tim, I'm taking the Rams.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, dude. I'm taking the Rams to win. I'm taking the Giants to beat the Seahawks. And I'm getting Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown.
I don't like all of those things.
Even though you don't like the Giants or Saquon, it's going to happen.
I don't like them, but
I'm trying to make money.
I mean, I'm not crazy. I mean, they're playing well. You know, they're playing better.
And hey, while we're at it, let's put 50 cents on Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown. And I would dare say George Kittle as well.
I think Kittle is actually more likely than Kupp to score a touchdown.
Dude, look at this. You can triple your money on Kittle.
That's easy money, dude.
I'll put $1 on that.
There's no Debo. There's no Debo Samuel.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Today, it's going to be George Kittle day today for sure.
So let's see. I got 50 cents on Cooper Kupp to win 52. And George Kittle, this is our money right here, man. Man, this is like, I feel like we're going to do better this week than we have any week. Like, I've seen so many opportunities.
This is a good one.
I feel like it is. Even though it's our bad week in fantasy, I feel like this is our good week in betting. We had a pretty good week 2 weeks ago as well. Our bankroll was getting pretty low, and then we got a good bit of it back, so that was good to see. We're on the up. We're coming back, baby. I feel like this shit is harder earlier in the season because you haven't really seen the teams play.
Because you haven't seen anything, and you're kind of going off your assumptions from the year prior.
Yeah,
that's all you can do. I mean, if you watched a little bit of preseason, maybe you can gauge it a little better. But for the most part, you know, you're going to think, well, the Rams won the Super Bowl. Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl. Those are two really good teams. You know, your perception is going to be skewed from what you've already seen.
I mean, shit. I mean, just the Bucks last year compared to the Bucks this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I bet on them. I bet $50 on them to win the Super Bowl this year.
It's not looking good.
Nope. But a part of that bet was I get $5 back for every game they win in the season, which is also not looking good.
$15.
So at best, I might get some of my money back.
Yeah,
They've had 3
basically
wins.
win out.
I've gotten $15 back so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not great.
no.
But hey, man, that's betting on balls. You know, we went into this betting on Brady, and hasn't worked out. So we have to adjust our strategy and move on. Oh fuck, this thing just went all the way down. So where were we at? We were at Green Bay. Gross. Oh, against the Bills. Oh, I hate these 10.5 point spreads, but I love the Bills
It's an
here
easy one.
at 10.5.
Green Bay is more than falling apart, and
I'm not taking them by 10.5. That's too much. I'm not taking that bet, but it's probably gonna happen. Let's see if we can
I
find.
like it.
You do like
I
it?
think this one should be. Yeah. I mean, well, the Bills just look that good. You could almost, I mean, outside of Kansas City, you could almost put or Philadelphia, you could put the Bills by 10.5 by anybody, and I would think about it. And I don't think that this is that unreasonable.
Yeah, it's just 10.5 is a lot, and
It's a lot.
The Bills did have a bye week, so maybe they won't be, hot. Maybe they'll come back.
No, they got rest, man. They're going to be the shit today.
Maybe.
And this is in Buffalo. This is at the Bills. This is a blowout waiting to happen.
I'm not gonna take the 10.5, but I will look at like who's gonna score touchdowns for the Bills today.
Diggs.
Who else?
I don't know.
Okay, so
it's hard to say after Diggs because it's like Diggs for sure, and then everybody else is like,
you got Josh Allen. I'll put 50 cents on Josh Allen.
Hey,
to score
I mean that's not that bad. I mean, dude, he could definitely run one in today. I mean, shit, he might run 2 in.
Yeah, I mean for real, this guy.
Yeah,
it's fucking insane.
He's that good.
He really is, and
I like that. That's our boy, man. 50 cents to win 68. I'm all about it. Yep. I like betting on our players.
Betting on our boys. Betting on boys. No, that doesn't sound
betting
good at all.
Boys.
No. This ain't the Catholic Church. So we'll get Josh Allen to score a touchdown, and then we will separately get Stephon Diggs to score a touchdown. Tim likes the 10.5 point spread. I do not. Y'all use your own judgment on that. Tim, how do you feel about the 46.5 over under?
Seems reasonable. I mean, I think it's probably an over. I feel like kind of in my heart that way. I think what's going to happen is that it's just going to be like Buffalo established themselves as by and heads and shoulders the best team in the league today. Green Bay gets run out of the stadium. Rodgers retires mid-game.
I hope so.
Honestly, that's like the exactly. No, other than him retiring mid-game, but I don't think that Green Bay is going to do well at all.
No, Aaron Rodgers needs to go. He got to go.
That haircut was just like
got to go.
What are you doing? What are you doing,
Aaron Rodgers? You got to go.
He looked like a tribesman.
He looks like you're old man. I mean, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking A. He looks like, I don't know. It's not good.
Well, I mean, you could say, shit, Brady's about in the same camp. They need to fucking go retire together.
No, Brady can't retire. I want to see Brady.
He's just going to be like a robot.
I want to keep him going another 10 years. I want to see a 60-year-old Brady win the Super Bowl.
That would be fucking awesome.
It will be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time, man. He'll have a bad season, but he'll come back. I mean, he threw his whole life away for this, so he's got to
Right.
come back again.
Well, they asked him. Well, so after this whole Giselle thing or whatever, they asked him, "Are you going to retire?" And he was like, "I don't see retirement anywhere close to my future,
No.
like at all."
No.
Like, and he like seemed like dead serious too. I was like, "Fuck!" Like, damn.
No, he can't. Well, now he's free of the one thing in his life that was like, you gotta retire,
Yeah.
gotta retire.
Right.
And it's like I was saying with me and Panda, where I was like, hey, you gotta stop smoking, and she's like, nah. Eventually, I quit. Just trying to ask her. It's her life. She
Yeah.
can do whatever the fuck he wants. And he's the same way with her, where he's like, you don't have to ask me anymore. Like,
Right.
and in fact, it probably makes him want to keep going even more. Because he has
bet.
all these
It
forces
would be.
that are like, you gotta go, you gotta retire. And he's like, well, fuck y'all. I'll retire
Yeah.
when I
Fuck
want to
you.
retire.
No, I don't.
I'm fucking
Yeah.
Tom Brady, bitch.
I
So,
mean, well, I guess, like, dude, if you can wake up in the morning and you can ask yourself, and this is really why I think football players retire. If you can wake up in the morning and ask yourself, can I play the game at the same level that I've been playing it at? And do I want to? And if you say yes to both of those questions, fucking keep playing. If you want to and you can, do it.
I don't think
Why
it
not?
even has to be on the same level. Because when you're such a champion, you could be a quarter of what you used to be and still be a great asset to
Yeah,
a team.
no
I
doubt.
feel like
Totally.
LeBron James is a great example of that. LeBron James has very long faded since his heyday, but he's still a valuable player on the
Sure.
court. Probably not worth as much as they're paying him, but he's a leader, he's a champion, and he's experienced. So it's like having a coach on the field with you that can still make
Yep.
plays. They can still you're not obviously going to be the top athlete on
It's
the
a Peyton
field.
Manning kind of situation where it's worth it to just have him out there.
Yeah, and I like it, man. But I don't see that with Aaron Rodgers. That's a totally different
No.
situation.
Well, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's not a team. He never has been really
Yeah.
a team guy. He can be a good leader at times, but he's not generally his teammates don't really like him that much from what I've heard.
I don't like him that much. I mean,
No, he comes off as a prick for sure.
yeah, I mean, just overrated. Just not. And he's on the Packers. I mean, come on, dude.
Overrated. There was a time where his skill set looked so much. I mean, he looked better than Josh Allen does right now. He had perfect accuracy. What was amazing about Aaron Rodgers, and this really was like what blew my mind about him, was that he could throw it 70 yards down the field on a fucking dime. Like he could toss it 70 yards, make it look easy, and hit the guy right in the hands. And he did that consistently year after year after year. And that's when I was like, okay, this guy's yeah, and he really was. There was a period of time where Aaron Rodgers was far and away the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, his time.
I think that time has passed.
Yeah.
I don't think it's but no, he was. I think underrated is a little harsh because I think he's great. Yeah.
Well, last game, Bengals at the Browns. Bengals are only favored by 3.5 points. I would have figured it'd be a higher spread than that.
Well, you're missing some key guys this week, and I think that probably plays into it as to why they're not favored higher. That being said, I really think they have the pieces for those guys to not really make that big of a deal. You're missing Jamar Chase, and that to me, that's the big one. Jamar Chase is maybe one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, but you have tremendous backups in Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. I don't think they're going to lose a step, man. I think that we continue to see the Bengals just train wreck people.
I think so too. Especially the
I
Browns.
think it's low. I think that it should be more like 6.5, 7, somewhere in there is a lot more reasonable.
I agree.
The over too, I think that this game could definitely go over 45 points. I think Cleveland's probably already expecting it to go over that amount of points. So.
Well, I'm putting $1 on the Bengals. I don't know how I feel about the over.
Well, hey, what about Tyler Boyd to score a touchdown here? Because he's not even showing up in the anytime touchdown score. Oh no, he is. Okay, I didn't see him down there, but he's pretty low. I mean, that's not great. 25 to win you 35. I
That's
do
pretty
think
good.
he's likely to score today, though.
Yeah, let's lock it in.
Yeah.
Right on. And it looks like the games are starting. So that was it, y'all. Betting on balls, Tim. Thanks for joining me. This was fucking awesome. I appreciate your insight, and I love talking to you.
Every time, buddy.
So let's watch the games. Let's get it done.
All right, let's do it.
Fuck yeah, man. Which game are you gonna watch first? Do you have one lined up? We got Raiders, Saints. You said the Cardinals and Vikings.
Oh,
That's a good
Raiders.
game.
I'll be watching the Raiders game because I've got in my fantasy league, I've got Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. So
I'm gonna be flipping between all three. We got Dallas, Cowboys,
That's a good one,
Bears,
too.
Vikings, Cardinals, and Saints and Raiders. So bam, bam, bam.
all
Let's
at
go.
once.
Yeah, let's
Damn,
go.
I'll be watching several too.